down. You just have to press this button.
Okay.
That one down there.
Okay.
She's touristy.
Well done. I'll come back to look at the work. Thank you so much.
Okay. You
Take
met the famous artist from Bamako.
by accident.
Yeah, he's famous. Yeah.
That is pretty cool.
From where you are?
Originally the States, but I'm hoping to not be there anytime soon.
I can get it perfectly. Yeah.
Exactly.
I get it perfectly. Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you all. I really appreciate it. Take care. Trisa. How cool is that? So I just met. Oh, let me try my speakers. Hey, so I just tried my I just went and introduced myself and said hello. Well, I didn't introduce myself, but I met a famous artist from Bamako who has work that's featured here, and the two others that are supporting him, which I didn't really understand their role. I guess they're helping, I don't know. Maybe they're like artist assistants. It's so crazy. They're so cool, chill, and friendly. So I hope to come back. Apparently, I don't know if I got it on tape, but his work is being exhibited, or has been exhibiting, or the opening of the exhibit was on Friday. And I don't know how long it's going to last until, but I would like to come back and see it, because that was a pretty nice and cool opening, and it made me very happy. It made me want to come to Germany even more, so yeah, we'll see. Alright, I need to figure out where I am. Okay, so I am on my way to climb some stairs, and this will be my exercise for today. 300 steps that I've researched, 300 steps up to the top. So we'll see what this look that's going to be for the church called St. Peter's. I think I'm walking to it. Oh, no, that's not it. Where am I getting down? This is it. St. Peter's. So I'm going to climb the steps. I think the payment's like €3. I will pay that happily. Oh, I can't wait to track up this market. And then I spend a few hours in this market trying not to spend all the euros that I just took out. That will be the goal. This is the beginning of the climb. 300 steps. It's like I'm back in Italy. He said it takes 10 minutes. So I'm not going to speak much. The ascent up the 306 narrow stairs inside Altar Peter is much more than a mere climb. It is an intimate journey through centuries of Munich's layered history. Starting just behind the church, visitors pay a modest fee at a tiny wooden ticket hut before stepping through a low, unassuming doorway. At first, the corridor feels almost claustrophobic. The stones close in, and with each ascending step, the air grows noticeably cooler and more silent, broken only by the echoes of shoes on centuries-worn steps. Once past the initial steep climb, the staircase briefly opens into small, dimly lit landings that serve as natural rest spots. These micropauses in the ascent offer fleeting views through tiny grated windows. Further up, the staircase narrows again. One person up, one person down, an elegant choreography of polite pauses and shared spaces, common to generations of ascenders.
On my video, on the end of it, you get all you guys do. Does anybody have a gel? That's so funny. The view wasn't as cute, but the conversation was really.
Though some guidebooks count 299 steps, the prevailing number remains 306. Perhaps a symbolic nod to the unexpected extra twists and turns within the stone spiral. The closer you get to the summit, the more the walls begin to tell their own story. Scuff marks from travelers long gone, small patches of moss in damp niches, and the faint fragrance of centuries-old stone. You can go in front of me.
You're almost there.
Finally, the penultimate landing gives way to the cage-like viewing platform, perched 56 meters above the city streets. Here, breathless, climbers merge into expansive air, greeted by panoramic vistas of Marienplatz, the Frauenkirch spires, and, as local lore promises on foreign days, the distant, majestic Alps stretching nearly 100 kilometers away. This transition from narrow, dark ascent to open-air crescendo is more than architectural. It is spiritual, historical, and deeply human, linking each climber across centuries to those who scaled the same spiral before them.
I need to strip off these clothes, but they're right, it is worth it. Another view that is beautiful.
St. Peter's Church, often called Alter Peter, stands perched on the Petersburg Hill at the heart of Munich. Records trace a church here back to the 8th century with documented Romanesque structure consecrated around 1180, following the city's founding in 1158. Much of that early building was lost in the Great Fire of 1327, after which the parish was reconsecrated in 1368. The church we see today blends Romanesque, Gothic, and Renaissance, Baroque, and Rococo architecture, each layer revealing centuries of Munich's evolution. The 91-meter tower, renamed Alter Peter, evolved over time, initially rebuilt in Gothic style after the medieval fire toppled with a Renaissance steeple in the 17th century, and later capped with a Baroque onion dome. It was badly damaged by lightning and bombings, and only restored fully by the mid-20th century, with final fresco reconstructions concluded in 2000. High above Munich's bustling Mariensplatz, the Glockenspiel of the News Rathaus comes to life each day at 11 a.m. and also at 12 p.m. and 5 p.m. in summertime. Installed in 1908, this elaborate mechanical clock tells two distinct stories from Bavarian history through its 32 life-size figures and 43 bells. The top half reenacts the lavish 1568 wedding of Duke William V and Renata of Lorraine, featuring a jousting tournament between Bavarian and Lothringen knights. Of course, the Bavarian always wins. This particular wedding was no ordinary affair. William V was the founder of Munich's famed Hobray Brewery, and the celebration lasted days with reports of feasting, tournaments, and grand pageantry spreading across Europe. The decision to feature this particular event in the Glockenspiel was intentional, symbolizing both Bavarian pride and the deep ties between the ruling Wittelsbach dynasty and the people of Munich. The figures in this upper scene are meticulously detailed. Look closely and you'll notice the knights leaning into the tilt with precise hand-painted heraldic emblems on their shield. matching those used historically by their noble houses. The tournament scene lasts about 4 minutes, with the knights circling one another before one is unseated. It's not just a spectacle, it's a moving piece of civic storytelling. Below the Schäflitans, which means Cooper's Dance, recalls the plague of 1517, when barrel makers danced through the streets to lift Munich's spirits. This dance wasn't just frivolous entertainment. It was a deliberate act of courage and defiance during one of Munich's darkest times. One curious detail few visitors notice: the golden rooster perched atop the clock's mechanism. At the close of the performance, after the joust and the dancers have spun to their final poses, the rooster flaps its wings and crows 3 times. This detail wasn't just added for flair, it symbolized the triumph of life over hardship, a hopeful call to the cities especially resonant after the traumas of war and plague. During World War II, the glockenspiel suffered significant damage, but was painstakingly restored by local artisans in the 1950s and again in 2007. While today's audiences mostly consist of tourists gathered with cameras pointed upwards, the glockenspiel once had an almost ceremonial role for Munich residents. Visitors who climb the 306 steps to the viewing platform at around 56 meters are rewarded with iconic sights: the Frankenkirch, Marienplatz, and, on clear days, even the Alps. Less celebrated, yet compelling, are the church's ancient bells and clocks. 8 bells hang in the tower, including 4 original from the late Middle Ages and Baroque era. The oldest, called Armsunder, which means poor sinner, likely dates from shortly after the 1327 fire. It once tolled during executions on Marienplatz, but now hangs silent behind bars in the tower's lower rooms. Almost there. Almost there. Up there.
How many?
5 maybe? 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 4. 4. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it. Thank you. Okay. Hello.